It's the plug bus with Diego and Just. It's the plug bus with Diego and Just. It's the plug bus with Diego and Just. It's the plug bus with Diego and Just.
Welcome.
Welcome back. It's been a minute since we've done a plug plus.
In a few minutes.
Yes, and what do you call it? This is how I want. This is the thing I want to say.
Yeah, you kicked off before we hit record. You said, "Diego, I have a really good way."
Because this episode's.
You asked for the top of the episode.
This episode's released on May the 4th.
Yeah,
so
nice.
May the 4th be with you for all those who
That's
celebrate.
clever. For all bodies willing and able.
And yeah, I guess what I just wanted to say was, Diego,
I know where this is going.
is Star Wars good?
Oh,
Where was it going?
I thought you were going to ask me if I've ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Have you got?
So is Star Wars good?
Yeah, that's what we're answering today.
That's a toughie.
Well, luckily we've got an hour to discuss it.
Yeah, good thing we have an hour to
Good thing we
discuss.
decided, hey,
Because,
let's make an episode about it.
I feel like I can just make so many points for, I can make so many points against, because it is quite like an involved cinematic universe.
Yeah, so I think the goal of this episode is, like, obviously this is just our opinion,
Yeah. This is
Well, it
just
is
our
also
opinion.
factual, all right? We're really going to get into the deep source of it.
Okay, sure.
Because I think there's a lot of stuff to cover.
So much.
We're probably not going to stick around on anything for too long. We're not going to linger.
Probably not.
But we're going to roll on through.
Okay.
And then I think at the end come to a consensus based off how much stuff we said was good or how much stuff was bad.
Sure.
To therefore have a
And
more...
we'll just think about it. Have a real good think about it by the end of this hour that we're going to talk about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Well, I think so. So can we get like history?
Some history on Star
lesson.
Wars.
Let's bring out the Wikipedia. It's been a while. Let's
I
dust
think-
off the book.
Yeah, the Wikipedia is getting dusted off. This giant ancient tome.
The Star Wars Wikipedia.
So like, look, to my knowledge, the first Star Wars media was A New Hope, right? That was the very first thing.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah,
Some suspicious noises happening from the kitchen.
that's all right. We'll just ignore it. So shall I read from the
so
scripture?
what is like the opening paragraph on Star Wars?
Star Wars is an American epic space opera
What?
multimedia franchise created by George Lucas.
Can we pause? Epic space opera.
Yes.
So, like, obviously, they're not singing.
No. I think
So opera has a different definition here, I guess.
I would love to. Where are my citations? Works cited.
Come on, where are the citations?
No, external links. No, that's not what I need. Further reading. Is that what it is?
Surely, just look at the definition for opera, and it should have multiple definitions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But because I'm still confused what it means in this context. Like,
So space opera is a subgenre of fantasy or science fiction that emphasizes space warfare with use of melodramatic, risk-taking space adventures, relationships, and chivalric romance.
that's pretty much Star Wars.
Yeah.
Did Star Wars invent space opera?
Probably not. Like
Star
I think,
Trek.
I think in terms of
Probably predates it, right?
maybe like in terms of films, it might have been one of the first ones.
Yeah, I feel that.
But in terms of like, I mean, before Star Wars, you probably had like
Well, I mean, like,
you would have had like Ender's Game, I think.
2001 Space Odyssey was,
You had 2001
was a bit of
Space
a
Odyssey.
space opera,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that
big
score.
time.
Am I right, lads? Am I right? I didn't deserve that, but thanks. I'll
No,
take
you
it.
didn't, but I had pity on you. So Star Wars is an American epic space opera multimedia franchise created by George Lucas, which began with the eponymous 1977 film and quickly became a worldwide pop culture
How
phenomenon.
old is George Lucas these days?
Jeez, you're asking for a lot.
I'm going to put it out of my feelers here. By the way, this is being recorded on my iPhone 13. If you're wondering
camera's
why,
broken, we can't be bothered to fix it.
yeah, camera's broken. Can't be fucked.
Should we explain how our camera is broken?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to. No,
That's okay.
I'll put the SD card the wrong way. All right? Leave me alone. But the JB Hi-Fi guys will not know that because I'm going to give it back to them and be like, yeah, it just stopped working. I don't know why.
George Walton Lucas Jr. was born on May 14th.
Oh, wow.
So 10 days from
Damn,
now.
it was almost fucking
almost
destined to be. Almost. So
1944.
maybe that speaks volumes. I was going to guess 82. Is that correct?
He's 78.
Fuck. I was close.
That's pretty close, yeah.
Damn, like, pretty young still. Like, I mean, for an old guy, you know? I know that sentence doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, so it says here years active from 1965, so that makes him maybe when he was like, well, Star Wars came out in 1977.
Yeah.
So he was.
Damn, does that mean he's been working on the film for like
33.
12 years?
No, I think years active is just like when he started.
Oh,
making
years active for
films.
him in like total in general, you know. So he probably has. I'm guessing he has films that came out.
It might
before
even
Star Wars.
include his time spent in college.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Doing
yeah,
like student films and shit. I'd love to watch one of those, you know. I'd like to watch George Lucas's like first ever film.
Yeah. Lucas wrote and directed THX 1138 based on his student short Electronic Labyrinth, which was a critical success but a financial failure. Might have to look into it. Yeah, so he's been at it for a little while. Continuing from the Star Wars Wikipedia, the franchise has been expanded into various films, as we know, and other media, as we know, including television series, familiar, video games, familiar, novels, not that familiar, comic books, not that
I was going to mention
theme park attractions, that's a big one, and themed areas, whatever that means, comprising an all-encompassing fictional universe.
Themed areas, aka George Lucas's bedroom.
Yeah, okay. Themed areas.
I think he brings home people and he's like, hey, check this out. He's got like a full
George
replica
Lucas.
of like,
Gets
he gets some.
Yeah, he rolls.
Or maybe he did get some. I mean, you know, he's
He probably
78.
still does. Like, I'm sure he has a wife, but like, I'm sure they're cool with it. Star Wars is one of the highest grossing media franchises of all time.
Sorry. George Lucas and his wife are in an open relationship. That's canon.
That's
right?
canon. That's canon in the Star Wars space opera, epic space opera.
No, but I guess the best place to start is the original trilogy.
The original trilogy, which began in 1977, and I'm not sure where every other.
I think
movie
it was
came out
almost like
after
every year. Which
Was that every year?
I like maybe not every year, but like every 2 years.
Every
I feel
couple
like
of
that's
years,
pretty
yeah.
common. I think that's what happened with the prequel trilogy, and honestly, the new trilogy was pretty close to that. I think, as well.
Something like that.
I was thinking about this a lot today because I'm trying to look at it from like an unbiased like viewpoint. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I enjoy Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars enjoyer.
Where's this going?
I'm like, look, I don't feel like, and I feel like they've been updated since, but I just feel like they haven't aged it up that well.
Okay.
They haven't aged terribly.
I haven't seen the original, most of the original trilogy in quite a long time. I would love to, but Maddie refuses to watch Star Wars, and that's pretty much the only time I have is when I'm around her. So I have to, everything has to get the green light from Maddie, right? But she refuses. Fair enough. I understand. She gave Lord of the Rings sort of a go. She didn't like it. She didn't really give it a go, but and we put it on, and then she was like, "Cool, I'm just gonna start doing other stuff around the house."
I love like you're still just like holding that against.
Yeah,
them.
of course, of course.
No, it's
but Star Wars, I understand. But a couple of months ago, not a couple, it was probably a few months ago, I gave A New Hope another run while I was just home by myself. I just put it on the big telly, pulled out the sofa bed, tucked myself in, and just lied down and watched it. Right?
I do remember that. Yeah. I don't know if it was a few months ago. I feel like it was a while ago.
It was probably a while ago. Yeah. I don't know. 6 months ago. Let's say.
That's a fair assumption.
I finished the movie, and then people started coming home and stuff, and I had to lie there for a while because I thought, wow, that has aged phenomenally.
Oh, there you go.
When was the last time you watched A New Hope?
A New Hope, maybe like a couple years ago.
Yeah, it holds up.
Yeah, I don't think they've aged well in terms of like effects and
God, no.
which is like
Nothing
fair
has.
enough.
Nothing
it was the
has.
fucking late 70s, like you know, but like,
and it was like so low budget as well. But you need to keep that in mind.
And like the story is very simplistic. You know what I mean? Not much like there's not much like fucking craziness to it. You know what I mean? Which is fine.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It doesn't have to be crazy to be good, but like you know, it's pretty run of the mill.
But
like,
we know,
dude falls in love with his sister and it turns out he's... No, I'm joking. But there are some questionable things.
Yeah,
which I want to talk about.
Well, yeah, questionable, but like when you compare it to something that people find objectively good, i.e. the Game of Thrones books.
Yes.
Like brothers and sisters doing it is not a problem, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a big point of the book, I suppose.
And Luke and Leia don't do it. They kiss.
Well, but my point here is it just feels really out of place to me for some reason.
Yeah.
I feel like that plot point could not be a part of it and it wouldn't be that big a deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
See, I think
Antonio
Tony
agrees.
gets it,
yeah. Antonio agrees.
Whereas,
Antonio
like-
actually likes the bit where they kiss.
Yeah, well, Tony, that's kind of fucking
That
weird.
is weird
bro.
as fuck, Tony.
Whereas, like, in the Game of Thrones books, for example, like, you know, it's the plot
crux.
that, like, drives the entire thing.
yeah,
you
that's
know?
true. That's true.
But, I guess, like, that's, like, one small thing. But I still really like the original trilogy.
I think the other thing about A New Hope, especially, that romantic sort of part of it, it's not that big a part of the movie.
Yeah, no,
It's
isn't.
kind of something that just happens very subtly in passing. Like,
And I'm like,
it's really not that big a part of the movie.
but like that feels like such a like an old movie thing to me, where it's like, you know,
And a little bit of this, a little bit of romance.
yeah, like they're like, two main characters who are a male and a female, they have to have
They
like,
got
some
to
sort
they
of
got
thing,
to
right?
be into each other at least.
Yeah,
Like,
which I'm glad we've like gotten to a point now where it's like we're not doing that.
we
all
don't
the time.
have to. We're not forced to.
Like
yeah.
there was a movie I was watching recently. Oh god, what the hell was it? I don't know. A show I'm watching called Mythic Quest, which I've been talking to you about, which created by Rob McClaney. I think that's how you say his last name. And I'm talking about. Sorry, this saw Carly like pounce. I'm guessing it was on Tony, but yeah, it features like two characters. Rob McClaney plays a character who's like the creator of a game, basically.
Yeah.
And then this other girl, she's Australian, I think her name's Charlotte something.
Is like the
She
other
plays like the main like what's it called?
director.
Coder.
Yeah, sure.
So
Program.
already really cool because
Yeah.
they're giving a female a role in a job that is very male dominated. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I mean, they poke a lot of fun at that in the show. Like it's funny because her team literally has one woman on it, and it's
Great.
like the rest of the dudes, and she always talks about, look, we're inclusive, and
Yeah,
it's like
one
girl.
woman.
But like my favorite part about that show is while there are like funny moments where she like sometimes dreams about like, you know, like there's a full episode where she's like
Oh yeah,
struggling
she
with
has, yeah.
dreams about having sex with her boss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then like you get like characters like David who are like, yeah, I've had that dream, and he's like a straight male, you know, like, and it's just funny, and like but through 2 and a bit seasons I've watched, there has been like no like forced romantic connection between that, and I'm like, thank God, man, because like I'm so sick, especially for the sake of the female character, just getting shoehorned into being like, you're just the love interest for this character.
Well, that's what I really liked about the most recent Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Exactly.
Because the two like main characters were a male and a female, and they had no romantic interest in each other. And instead of shoehorning the woman into a romantic role, it's sort of like subtly pushed her into like a motherly,
Absolutely.
non-nuclear sort of biological motherly role.
Yes.
And that was really sweet.
Which is
I
great.
really liked
And
it.
I'm glad we're here. But like, you know, it's always hard to like critique movies, you know, they're made at a different time. You know?
From you know 23 years before we were even born.
From a time where like, you know, racism was pretty
Prevalent.
commonplace.
Yeah, like
and sexism, like, you know, was just
for
there.
for comparison, I am not even as old as Star Wars was when I was born.
I need to
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not even that old yet.
You, like, I think some of the prequels were out before you were born. Or maybe
I don't
not.
know. I really don't.
I don't remember
know
the
when
prequels. Well, I
prequels
guess
came
we'll
out.
find out.
Yeah, we'll probably find out. But the original trilogy, I've only seen A New Hope recently, and I really want to watch the others.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I found that A New Hope aged pretty bloody well.
and I saw Empire Strikes Back with Jack Holteno in what do you call it?
Hayden Orpheum or
No, it was just at event. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sure.
It was between the first and second lockdown when they were like showing a lot of old movies.
yeah.
Because you know, the movie stopped existing for a second, and it was pretty fucking awesome. Not gonna lie, like watching like these old lightsaber battles and stuff like that on the big screen felt really good.
Right.
And I feel like it made me enjoy it a lot more as well.
Interesting. Yeah, it does seem like something that in a theater would really come alive.
But like the more I think about it, and the more movies I watch, and the more like, you know, I guess experience I have with film, the less I am like amazed by these films.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I feel like when I was a youngin growing up with these movies that were like, oh
Loved
my
it.
God.
Yeah, Star Wars.
And I don't really have that like same wild imagination. I like come into it a lot more critically these days.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
Which kind
a big
of
part
it's a
of
bit
it.
of a shame, but like it is what it is. You know?
Yeah, I think
I still think they're good movies.
I mean, I think you said it already. Like, you found yourself already really enjoying it, even coming at it from a critical standpoint.
And I reckon that original trilogy is like super consistent as well. Like I think like a lot of people always like be like, oh, the Empire Strikes Back's the best one, Return of the Jedi is the worst one, but like to me it's really hard to like rank them.
That was the thing with The New Hope. I finished watching it and I was like, I don't know how they get better than this.
Yeah,
really.
legit.
Like, because I really, 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 really loved it.
But you know, there's so many fun things about them.
So the next trilogy to come out.
What's the time looking?
So the next trilogy to come out was the prequel trilogy rather.
Sick. Sorry, can we get a release date up for this one?
of the sequel
sequels and I guess the original trilogy as well.
Christ,
I mean, I guess all the trilogies we need release dates for, but
let's see.
I'm guessing. I feel like honestly, the original trilogy was like 77, 78, 80.
So original trilogy 77, 80, 83.
83. Geez, 3 years between them all.
Yeah, they took a little bit. So
I don't know why I thought they pumped them out so quickly.
Yeah, no, who knows? And now onto the prequel trilogy.
The first one came out in 99?
99, correct. So that was before I was freaking born. May 19th. Wow, they all come out in May. That's a lie. Ignore that.
May 19th, isn't it?
All of them, the sequels don't come out in May, but the prequels and original trilogy come out in all in May, which is pretty fun.
There you go. So yeah.
99, 02,
I was gonna say 01, but
and 05.
05, geez, long gap between the last two.
Pretty solid gaps.
And
I mean, gaps all around.
I feel like this is where the conversation starts, you know.
Yeah, basically. So everybody knows like, the Phantom Menace was a bit of a stinker, right?
Up until then, I think everybody was fine with Star Wars being a good franchise, and a good trilogy, and there was like, you know, it could have left it there, and it would probably go down in time as, is Star Wars good? Yeah,
imagine
you know?
This.
But then you just had to take it that way.
You make a movie. It's 1977. You make a movie on quite a low budget. It turns out pretty good, and it becomes a pop hit, right?
Yes.
A pop culture hit. You make another one 2 years later, does just as well. You make another one 3 years after that, does just as well. And then something happens where for some reason you decide to wait 16 years before you make the next one.
I think, I wonder what happened in between.
Like, that is some Twin Peaks shit. What's up with that?
Because obviously, like, you know, it didn't seem like it was intended at all for it to be like a prequel. Like, it wasn't like, and just you wait, guys, the prequel trilogy.
It's coming. Yeah, no, this is okay. So just for context, how long has it been since the last Game of Thrones book came out? Because you still got like
2012.
You still got like 5 more years to go, and then it'll come. All right.
That's a bit of a different story. But yeah, I get you. That's like really hard to like process that, because with Game of Thrones, it was like the first 2 books came out within like 2 years of each other.
Sure.
So it was like, correct me if the dates are wrong, 96, 98.
Sure. For example.
Then I think the third one was like maybe like 2001.
Okay.
Then the fourth one, 2005. So it's getting longer and longer. Like the fifth one, 2012. Sixth one,
7 years. Okay.
Impending still, like, you know. So like everyone's kind of like worked out the math, and like exponentially we should have it in the next couple of years.
In the next like 5 years. Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad.
But yeah, it is interesting. Like, I'm guessing some just, you know, white dude in like, I've showed you those TikToks of the like Michael Bay making Transformers. Explosion! We're gonna get an explosion. You write that down? You're fine. Like, so one of those guys came in one day and was like, "Holy shit, this is fucking awesome!
What if we did Obi-Wan, but he's just like a Padawan, right? What if we did Old Ben Kenobi, and he has to train?
I want 3 more of those, and you write it down? Give me 3 more in about 15 years.
I'm actually curious, because in that 16 years, I'm pretty sure there must have been other Star Wars media coming out. Like, there must have been comics and books, and like the holiday special, I'm pretty sure would have been after this.
I mean, it is interesting, because I'm like, I think there's definitely books between them.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if the lore got fleshed out in those books.
And I wonder if that influenced them, like, you know, going, okay, we need to make these prequels.
Yeah,
movies,
maybe,
you know?
maybe.
But yeah, okay, let's get into them. Because,
So-
like you said, Phantom Menace is like
A bit of a
stinker at the
stinker.
office.
Bit
You
of a
know?
stinker at the office.
And like, as much as I find, I'm just gonna go fix this, but I'm gonna talk as I'm going. As much as I find, like, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, these are like the films we grew up with, you know,
Yeah.
as Star Wars.
This
like,
came out before I was even born.
There
But
you go,
yes,
like-
yeah. This was the first Star Wars movie I watched.
I think a lot of them, like, obviously we hold in high regards because they're very nostalgic and stuff
Very
like that.
nostalgic.
But I still think I can say The Phantom Menace is like not good.
Not good.
And like,
No bueno.
honestly, not that nostalgic for me either. I don't feel like I feel like there's scenes that are nostalgic for me, but
Yeah.
like the movie itself, like there's a lot of it where I'm like, it's not the part of the prequel trilogy that I'm like gung ho for.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a bit of a snooze fest, I find. Like it is, and like I love a bit of lore fleshing out and exposition, but like
But no one is like lazy.
it was like lazy and like really
Midichlorians, bro.
really
Midichlorians, write that down. How did you get it? I don't fucking know, man. Just write it down.
So, but I think the two things that make me nostalgic about this is Liam Neeson as a Jedi,
Yes.
and
I mean, great
and-
fucking cast.
and the entire Duel of the Fates.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, fucking, like that scene, fantastic. And like,
Fantastic.
you know, that's like obviously a problem with the older movies, and I guess a reason why they haven't aged well, which is like the
lightsaber
battles aren't that cool. You
No,
know what I mean?
no.
But like this one was fucking.
This
sick,
was like
bro.
they really turned up the heat. Like 16 years, if I had to wait 16 years, and then all of a sudden lightsaber battles were just the next level, I'd be like, worth it.
I saw a meme recently. I wonder if I can find it so I can like put it in the thing here, in the video. But like, it was like the scene from Breaking Bad where like Walt goes up to Saul and goes like, "We're finished when I say we're finished," and it's like George Lucas to John Williams.
Yeah, big time. John Williams really was holding on for a long time there. But I will say, Duel of the Fates, one of his best works. I don't know what Kylie's
What
actually
the
doing.
fuck is
Kylie's
happening?
scratching her face.
I
on the
wish you
litter
guys
box.
could see from our perspective the cook shit that our cats do, because they're fucking weirdos.
They are a bit weird.
But yeah, like he did that score in the original movies, which we barely even talked about, by the way. But like, it almost surpasses Star Wars. You know what I mean? Because John Williams he just had that dog in him all the time, bro. Like, obviously the OG score like had so many fucking highlights. I mean, just the theme, Imperial March, etc.
Like truly a great track list.
But he really just kept going. Like, Duel of the Fates is insane.
It is-
Like,
it is quite an
the music
incredible
makes
music.
the scene so tense and
Yeah.
so intense and just it's so sick, bro. And like it just baffles me how he somehow managed to make, you know,
music like that.
in some of his most iconic scores like 16 years after the fact. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
fucking impressive.
Just
But I digress.
didn't lose any of his ability.
If his question was, is John Williams good? Like, we wouldn't.
Oh no, not even.
It'd be a 2-minute podcast.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's all the reasons why, and that's
See you
the end
later.
of the
See you
podcast.
guys later.
That's
It was
the
good to see you.
So yeah, Phantom Menace, bit of a stinker. Attack of the Clones. Thoughts?
More nostalgic. 'cause
More nostalgic.
there's-
Hard agree.
parts of it that I like fucking love, like just when they're in like the Colosseum thingo and
Yep.
like there's all the Jedi just fighting against them all.
Yep.
Mace Windu,
Absolutely huge thing. Mace
Samuel
Windu.
Jackson, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
again,
come on.
the cast of the prequel trilogy is pretty incredible.
Yeah, but still not that good.
No,
Like, I mean, we haven't even really talked about the really, really, really times a million forced Padme Anakin relationship.
yeah,
That just felt so, like, I don't know how they fucked it up that badly. Like, how it felt so, it just felt like
Weird.
so written, you know what I mean?
Written,
like, it
yeah.
just didn't feel natural
Yeah,
at all.
no,
I mean, you know, from the get-go when, you know, she was a teenager and he was a 9-year-old fucking kid, bro. Like, I mean, you could tell it was going to be bad from that.
It didn't. It had a shaky foundation from the start, and I think
Like,
that says enough.
Why they just didn't make her younger or him just older? Just
Yeah,
it's beyond me. I just don't understand it. Like,
I'm pretty sure that little actor's like heaps into like drugs and stealing cars and stuff.
wow,
yeah,
that's kind of interesting.
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
be
Now this is pod racing, right?
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah. Boy, is he pod racing! Oh my god.
but like, yeah, there's just so many issues with it. And I mean, I feel like maybe, like, to me, Phantom Menace could have been a situation similar to the new trilogy, which I'm sure we'll get into, where it was like maybe everyone got out of cinemas and was like, okay, that was okay. That was interesting. And then when the second one came out, they were like, what's going on here? These are kind of bad. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, there's nothing, like, entirely, like, really, really, like, stand out, like, bad stuff from, like, just the Phantom Menace, you know what I mean? Like, obviously there was issues, like,
it was just kind of boring. It was just boring in parts, yeah.
But then in the second one, you start to get, like, the really bad script writing.
You get the picture, and like, number 2 is where Hayden Christensen comes into it.
Exactly. And I think Hayden Christensen was, honestly, and this might be maybe a hot take, I don't really know, but I think it's going to be one of my biggest takes. I think he got absolutely fucked by this trilogy.
Absolutely.
Because I think it low-key ruined his career.
Probably.
Because he just got handed one of the worst scripts.
I don't think he deserved it.
No, that's what I mean. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he just had to say lines like, you know, the sand, it's coarse.
Yeah.
He had to say that, and
he
make
didn't
it
come up with that.
he had to make it sound believable.
He had to make it sound believable and interesting, and like, it had to develop his character somehow. But like, I feel like it's like the script and like the editing as well, because it would be like these lines that were like that were surrounded by, on either side, by like a full like 1.5 to 2 seconds of just silence.
Yes.
You know
That's what I mean.
It would be like Annie, blah 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 blah. I don't like sand.
And like, I can just imagine like George Lucas, give it to me, but a bit more deadpan.
Oh my god, man!
I don't like sand.
Like they really, yeah.
It's like, just let him be the character, and like, you know, it's like in the third movie when he's fucking burning to death.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan's. Ewan McGregor's giving this fantastic performance. Like, you're my brother, Anakin.
Tear-jerking performance,
and all he has to say that is like, it's like, what are we writing for him?
Yeah,
like, I don't get it.
Give
like,
him a chance, for God's sake.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's clear George Lucas isn't fucking incapable. Like,
well, that's the thing, because if you think about Darth Vader in the original trilogy, he always sounds like he sounds like a badass.
Yeah,
at every line.
And just Hayden Christensen does not feel like a badass at any real point during the trilogy.
No.
Like, he just feels like a bit of like a, you know, fucking like just male manipulator.
Yeah. He is.
Like one of those guys you see in the street, you're like, ew, fuck.
A victim of gaslighting as much as he is a perpetrator of gaslighting.
Like, if they really like shafted him to like more of like a victim role in the trilogy, in the prequel trilogy, which does not feel right.
He's the chosen one, for God's sake. Like, they don't make it out like that.
No, that's what I mean.
Like, the only thing like chosen one about his entire character.
Sorry, God, it's hard to do this podcast with cats, honestly, sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I see it. I see what's going on now.
Carly's somehow trapped herself in the closet, and I just see a paw coming out, just like trying to open
the door.
Maybe you should just...
No, she can figure it out. She got herself in this mess. She can get herself out. What's going to happen when she does this while we're not home?
It's a good point. But yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, there's still saving graces to the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, big time.
Like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, I was just going to say, like, the only real, like, the thing about Anakin's character that they really give to him, like, they really make it out, is that he's really strong.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing they make out of his character.
I don't think it's, like I said, sucks for Hayden Christensen, but I'm sure, like, he was still pretty amateurish at the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it wasn't his best performance still, but, like, because, like, you can kind of see that with Ewan McGregor, because, like, I feel like a lot of the goofy lines that he got, he was able to make very, like... He was able to fit them in really well, I think, just because he's a fantastic actor. Hello there. Like, imagine giving that line to Hayden Christensen. Like,
it just wouldn't have been the same.
No, it would have come off a lot worse. Like, he would have been, hello there. And, like, you would have been like, oh, what the fuck? Like,
that's actually a really good point.
But, like, because, like, Ewan really made the character his own, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I feel like
really good actors and, like, what's it called? Accomplished actors, I suppose.
Something I'd like to get into as well, based off of this, is like Anakin's character in the prequels is like very shallow, just like a shallow character is a good way to describe it, right?
There's not much there.
And then after the prequels, we get chef's kiss Star Wars content, the Clone Wars.
Oh
right?
Yes.
And that's where Anakin to me that is like the Anakin character. Hey, she got out. See, I told you. For anybody that was about to at me, be like, "Oh my god, they're torturing their cat." No, she did. She got herself out.
Not her standing in
and
Tony's
she's fully
food bowl.
standing in Tony's food bowl. Are you okay?
Yeah, she's chill. She's chill.
She's fine. She's gonna go back in.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, like, you know, how can you resist going into a random
the Clone Wars?
Yeah, that's a good segue. Well, we haven't talked about Revenge of the Sith.
Not really, no.
Just give me 5 minutes to say this is the most nostalgic one. This is the best one.
The best
prequel.
Yeah,
and like I still genuinely think, and this might be my hottest take, it is the best prequel, but also my favorite Star Wars movie. I think.
I have not finished it in a while because I always chuck it on and I'm always like shit faced. But number one, and it's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, let's put on Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, like your fucking
I like the night before my wedding. Yeah. It was the night before.
It wasn't a batch party.
No, it was the night before my wedding, and I was like, let's watch Revenge of the Sith, and I didn't even make it to General Grievous.
I love
poor Jack.
Jack in the morning before just wakes up. Yeah, don't mind, leave it to me to turn off Star Wars,
poor
guys.
guy. I feel like he wanted to watch a different Star Wars movie.
Yeah, probably.
We probably should have put another one on. But I feel like I'm so comfortable falling asleep to Revenge of the Sith.
I just want to also quote, when I told Jack that we were making this episode, he was like, the answer's no.
The answer to the question of the title of the episode is no.
Yeah. So, interesting to hear some other
But we still have about half an hour until we get to a verdict. So,
yeah.
Your favorite Star Wars movie?
I think so. For the nostalgia factor, for the fact that I think it's still... like
quite good.
It's a decent movie.
Decent.
I don't think it is as good as any of the original trilogies.
So fair.
Because it's got that nostalgia factor, and I think just because it's got some of my favorite scenes, I think the whole Order 66 scene is like one of the best scenes in the Star Wars universe. They just did a good job. They did a good job of ripping my heart out.
Yeah, it really hurts, man.
And it hits even more different when you watch the Clone Wars, for example.
Yeah, when you watch the Clone Wars and you watch like the original trilogy, you watch the sequels, you play some games, all of it. It just it's like it's like the biggest event to happen in Star Wars.
Because it's very frustrating to sorry, these cats. It's very frustrating to have like finished that, and you're like, damn, I wish I got more on those characters, and then. But, like, it's satisfying to have that. You know what I mean? And now I'm talking from a place that's like, I still haven't actually finished watching the Clone Wars. But
Same.
I've watched quite a bit of it, and I love...
It's good.
So much. Like, I love pretty much all of it.
Season 1, shaky start.
Yeah, I mean, like...
But
I think the first couple seasons, like, feel like they have some very fillerish episodes.
I think season 1's probably the one where it's like it's like the hardest to get through.
Yeah, but like,
it's still
there
not
are
bad.
Some phenomenal episodes of television in it. Like I think the very first one that comes to mind, like I said, I've still only watched like half of it.
Yeah.
I've barely even gotten to like the Darth Maul stuff yet. So bear with me. I know the last seasons are very critically acclaimed and stuff like that. So I will get to them. But like the episode which really dives in on like Rex and his like group of clones when they have like the traitor.
Damn, dude. That's a great episode. Right? That is a fucking good episode.
And like it's episodes like that stand out above like, the prequels.
Well, it's interesting because it's like there's so much Star Wars media, and it seems to be a common thing where it's like the episodes or the films or whatever that focus as less on the Jedi as possible are the best ones.
Yes.
That episode of the Clone Wars.
Exactly. Because it really humanizes the clones.
Yeah.
And after you've just seen them turn against everybody. And I mean, like, I'm not, like, not to go back to, like, fucking episode 3 again. But, like,
Go back to it.
You get, like, a lot in, like, obviously the main characters, like Sheev. Fuck, I love Sheev as well.
Yeah, Sheev, they really flesh out a lot of those characters.
Star Wars battles, lightsaber battles and shit. Especially one with like Yoda really stands out.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is
just fucking
intense,
awesome. The Mace Windu one, I guess I should say the 4v1 that just immediately becomes a 2v1.
2v1.
Which does not last long for a 2v1. But that's what I mean. Like,
are we going to talk about the fact that Mace Windu defeated Emperor Palpatine?
Yeah, he fucking did it. He was the GOAT, bro.
And then Anakin he's the GOAT. Yeah, and then he just gets killed.
That's why he's the GOAT. Yeah, it sucks. Mace Windu also got shafted, but like not in a character like assassination kind of way, as it felt like for like Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Like more just like the character Mace Windu got.
Yeah, didn't get a lot of screen time. Yeah. But like the screen time we did get of him was good. And because it's Samuel L. Jackson, you can't really.
That's what I mean. Like you get fucking. Like, in that in that fucking trilogy, you maybe get like 12 seconds of Kit Fisto before he just gets
Yeah,
fucking
all the other Jedi and like Plo Koon and stuff like that, and like, what's going on?
Nothing. Just
Wait, what? That was a different cat that went in there.
Yeah, Carly's in the box if you can see. She's got her fucking eyes poking out, bro. It's so funny.
Okay, no, I see.
Yeah, but like, you know, a character that maybe got like literally 12 seconds of screen time in the prequel trilogy has some like fantastic episodes in Clone Wars as well. Like that one with I think it's him where they go to General Grievous's like hideout and he's with his like what do you call it? With his Padawan.
Kit Fisto.
Is that Kit Fisto? Or am I crazy?
Yeah. And the Padawan goes with like Ahsoka, right? Yeah.
Such a good episode.
Yeah, that's a good episode too.
I won't
Oh my
spoil it.
god! And they like fucking nearly die.
Yeah.
Because they like
someone does die. You know?
well, they like have to like detonate the fucking damn, I forgot about that episode. It's fucking good. No, there's some
Clone Wars. I don't want to say it's underrated because I feel like it's pretty fairly rated.
Yeah, no, it is rated.
But I think it's just worth saying it's such a contributing factor to the Star Wars is good argument. You know,
very very big contributing.
Like
factor
a lot more so than the prequel trilogy.
Well, and like even because if you think about like how many seasons are there? Like 7.
Yeah.
And like every season's like at least 10 episodes. At least.
I'm pretty sure most of them are like 20.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are, right?
It's a lot of episodes.
So that's like what, 140 minutes? No, that's not right. That's like 1400 minutes or something?
Sure, I don't know.
7 seasons, 20 episodes. And then so that's
20-minute episodes.
So,
it's too much math, bro.
It's too much.
You work it out.
Well, 140 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, you're working at the episodes.
140 episodes.
I thought you were working at like the minute count.
And then the minute count is that times
140. 20
it's like 20 times 140, which is 2,800.
Yeah, sure. Done. Good job.
Which is
I believe you.
Yeah. Which so 120 hours is 5 days.
Yeah, it's not that much TV, but like
it's quite a bit.
Well, yeah, 5 days of TV, but I mean, in comparison to some shows,
Yeah. Well, I guess my point is like, what do we say? 2,800 minutes compared to like the films.
Yeah, which is a lot
it's a
less.
lot of content.
Like maybe 180 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. Each. So they're like, you're looking at like
less than 500, bit less.
It's a long series, It's a lot of Star Wars content, and a solid 95% of it is really good.
For sure.
Really enjoyable, and it's such a contributing factor to the good.
Should we get into like the newer stuff?
Okay. Which newer stuff?
Well, let's polish off the new trilogy, the TV shows that we like haven't covered, like Rebels and the new Obi-Wan show and whatnot, and then maybe for like the last 10 minutes because we're less versed, I guess,
about their other stuff.
A bit about like the books, the comics, the games as well.
So,
like, I mean, and there's like many games that like I know, like fucking like what's it called? Knights of the Round Table.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not Knights of the Round Table. I knew you would get it from that, but which I think are really well, like critically acclaimed. But I just never was a gamer when I grew up, so I never.
So we have about 23 minutes to discuss.
Cool.
What's left?
Force Awakens comes out 2017.
Yeah, something like that. I don't really care. I'll get it up. I'll get it up.
You got the timeline. 2016, 15?
15.
There you go. Damn. So was it 2015, 2018, 2021?
No. Okay. 2015, 2017, 2019.
Damn. So those ones are every 2 years.
Yeah, they really...
Wow, that really speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting how...
Yeah.
In the 70s, when things were maybe... I think maybe harder to make, but a bit more low budget.
Every 3 years.
So to the point where it's like... I feel like there was a lot less hours going into making the movie, maybe? You know what I mean? Oh, maybe not. I don't really know.
Like,
I'm talking from like someone who's never made a movie.
Maybe
before.
in like post-production, there was less time when going into it. I don't know. I really don't know. Again, we've never made a movie.
To be fair, like they did make like all the fucking miniatures and shit, so like that would have taken time.
That's true. But again, like the post-production. The post-production.
Yeah. But either way, it feels like these days they're such bigger productions, so you would spend more time making the movies. But every 2 years is like a pretty short turnaround.
That's such a short turnaround.
And they had like other movies coming out in between that as well. Remember? They had like Rogue One was the first one that came out, right?
I think Rogue One came out before any of this.
No way. Rogue One came out after the first movie, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure it was
2016.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Force Awakens, Rogue One, then Last Jedi, then the Solo movie, and then...
Oh my god, I forgot about the Solo movie.
Interesting that you forgot.
Well,
it's pretty forgettable. But
fun fact, I never watched it.
Oh, wow,
because it was about a week and a half had passed, and everybody was like, don't watch it, don't bother.
It was a kind of a Phantom Menace situation.
Right.
It was just like, oh, that's boring.
Which is a shame, because Donald Glover was Lando freaking Calrissian.
And, like, he honestly did not get that much screen time from what I remember.
That sucks.
Which, similar to, like, how I felt watching the new John Wick movie, man. Like, I was like, Rita Sawayama's going to be the new John Wick movie, and she was in it for maybe 10 minutes. I was like, fuck, man.
Oh my god, Bill Murray in Quantum Mania? Holy shit.
Shafted. Talk about shafted characters.
I have never been so mad in my life.
Oh, by the way, update the Marvel tier list. Quantumania F? No.
The last few movies that have come out have
solid,
been,
like D, C
I just
tier.
I'm not enjoying them.
Yeah.
That's why I think, because I keep comparing the Dungeons and Dragons movies to like every Marvel movie that I've watched.
It did feel Marvel-esque.
And it's just so much better.
It felt like, you know... The things we used to love about, like, the older movies, you know, the older Marvel movies.
And it's just like, it's so much funnier.
Yeah.
So much funnier.
It felt like the original Ant-Man, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was just like a bit goofy, a bit silly, but it was still serious, you know?
Yeah, big time.
Anyway. Force Awakens, I remember coming out of the cinema in 2015, so I would have been in year 11, and I would have thought, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And looking back on it now, 8 years later, holy fuck, that's crazy. I probably have a bit more of a sour taste in my mouth with it
because of the context of
the following
of what
movies.
You know, yeah,
and like I guess my maturing as they came out as well. Like, you know, 2017, the first year of uni. 2019, I've graduated, so it's like, you know, every movie to come from that, I've grown up. You know, what I mean?
Lots of life experience.
Yeah, and I think, you know, growing up has let me look back on that movie and think maybe it wasn't like the best, but it was still like. I don't think, for one, it was as shaky as how the prequels started.
Yeah, big time.
I think it was pretty solid in terms. I think
it's the best sequel movie.
Yeah, including prequels. No,
sequel,
best sequel.
Best sequel.
Yeah,
best
I mean,
of the sequel.
I think pretty handily as well.
Yeah,
like I feel like it's like a good 6, 7 out of 10, and the other ones I will get to, but not as good as that. I have actually on my follow me on Letterboxd, guys. I rate and review. No, I don't really, but like I do, like, you know, just offhandedly like give a rating.
Rate it. Yeah, rate all.
I feel like it sounds crazy, but I feel like I have an easier time rating movies because I feel like there's less stakes in it than with albums for some reason. I feel like people care about my opinion more. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Whereas with a movie, I can be like, yeah, that stunk. You know, like 1 star.
Movies are a bit easier because I feel like, you know why? Because more money goes into them.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, some albums have fucking ridiculous bills on them, but, you know,
not millions,
but like definitely not like as high budget,
not hundreds of millions of dollars,
because, you know, they got to pay fucking actors, they got to like special effects.
Too much. It's too much.
Like,
so when you fork out like however much fucking money it costs to make, you know, Return of the Jedi,
Force Awakens,
no, the one after that. What's it called?
Last Jedi. When
you think about the millions of dollars that went into making that movie, and like, you know, there were, you know. I'm not saying that everybody that was paid to make that movie should not have been paid for it. I'm just saying that it just didn't come out the way it should have.
Absolutely. And I mean, yeah, like Force Awakens, if we want to make the transition, like I said, it came out thinking it's pretty decent.
Same.
But similar to the prequels, I think after watching The Last Jedi, I looked back on it and was like, was it really as good as I thought it was?
Yeah.
There's still questionable things, I think, in The Force Awakens, just like the whole Finn defecting as a stormtrooper thing. Because, like, watching The Force Awakens, you think this is going to get explained, and it just never does.
No.
Which is just so frustrating, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feels like, I mean, talk about, like, if Hayden Christensen's, like, fucking, what do you call it, Anakin Skywalker performance was character assassinated, so was fucking Finn from the new series.
Dude.
I think Finn was like the most
he really copped it.
He copped it. Like, I mean, we can go over.
I don't know why either, because John Boyega is so good.
He is, and I don't think he did I think he did a better job than Hayden Christensen did.
I think he did so well,
character.
and like he was such a like seeing I don't know. It's something about it, his whole character and his whole sort of journey through The Force Awakens. It was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to learn more about this character.
But like, yeah.
And then The Last Jedi comes out and he's like unconscious for 80%.
And that's what I mean, man.
And when he's conscious, he's useless.
Getting into Last Jedi, which I think might be my least favorite Star Wars
movie. Yeah.
Actually, it's kind of hard between that one and Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Jesus Christ.
Which was a hot mess as well.
Oh my God.
It is interesting because I remember Last Jedi being a lot more polarizing, a lot more like it's you either love it or you hate it. Kind of thing.
When it came out, it was, and then over time, everybody was like, "Never mind, it sucks."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Rotten Tomatoes score was like really skewed. Like critics gave it like over 90%, and then like punters gave it maybe like 40. You know, one of the biggest like differentiations.
Yeah, I don't trust Rotten Tomato critics.
Yeah,
I said it.
I mean, because it's similar to like any other like critic show or like the Golden
Program.
Globes or the Oscars
sure.
or whatever. Where it's like just 40 old dudes in a room going, "Yeah, I picked that one. Anyway, I should go watch it." You know, like it's just shit. You know?
It sucks. But
I would rather like I've said a million times, I trust a body of people way more than I do like fucking
council
of like appointed experts.
Yeah.
Like you can be a fucking expert on like something subjective.
So completely subjective. Yeah.
I digress. Yeah, Last Jedi was, I think, the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And it was the nail in the coffin, but this puppy's still alive somehow.
Somehow. You know what I mean? Well, because by this point, people were in this exact position saying, is Star Wars good?
And I mean,
because if you think about it, 2015, Force Awakens, hey, that was alright. 2016, Rogue One. We
barely even talked about Rogue One, by the way, which is like, I mean, maybe we can talk about those like, you know, movies that were kind of in between movies after we get through the trilogy.
Sure, yeah.
But like, yeah, Rogue One was actually fucking awesome.
Incredible film.
I think one of the best movies from the last 2 decades in the Star Wars universe,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think the best one.
The best one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, in the last 2 decades,
I
the best
think,
one.
honestly, probably better than Phantom Menace, better than
the prequel trilogy.
except maybe Revenge of the Sith for me.
I think,
but I know you're a big fan of Rogue One.
I'm a big fan of Rogue One.
Yeah,
I think it really, really. The Last Jedi I would not have watched any more Star Wars movies past The Last Jedi if it weren't for Rogue One.
So true. Like, yeah, and but yeah, back on Last Jedi, there was just so much that went wrong in that movie.
Oh my God,
so much that I think they were trying so hard to subvert expectations to where it got to the point where it's like,
this is ridiculous,
bro. Just write it how it needs to be written.
Yeah, don't. You know? Yeah, stop trying to be like.
Stop trying to be like, oh, we're new, we're quirky. Blah.
Yeah. This is different to what we've done. Remember how that movie opens? Oh my God! It opens with fucking Leia. Oh, is that the Rise of Skywalker?
No, that's definitely that movie, and I don't know if it opens with that, but it was one of the very first scenes.
Oh my God!
Where she like dies. Well, you assume, and then she just flies back in the ship, and I genuinely remember being in the cinema like, wait, what? How did she do that?
And then and
then that became a running trend over the next 2 movies of like, and they lived because the Force saved them. Anyway,
yeah, that's right.
Like you're like, wait, what? The Force can do that?
Yeah, well, because I remember, like in that movie, for about maybe 5 minutes, they're like, and Leia trained to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
And then they moved on. And then they just never revisited it. She didn't talk about it. Luke didn't talk about it.
Don't even get me started on Luke Skywalker, bro.
And what they did to fucking Carrie Fisher's perfect character. General Leia, this excellent, this fucking excellent character, fleshed out female, like, I'm just going to say it. Girl boss. All right.
I was going to drop this.
I'm just going to drop this right here. Girl boss. Okay. And then for them to do that to her, and then for them to follow it up by doing that to her in Kenobi, the series as well.
Oh, yeah, man. So many of the characters from, what do you call it? Fucking, what am I talking about?
Original trilogy
just got their perfect character ruined by this new trilogy. I mean, arguably besides Han Solo, who I think actually really got a good ending.
Yeah.
And I mean, funnily enough, it was in The Force Awakens. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, and that's
And
a
it was
contributing factor to why The Force Awakens.
And it was like
pretty
the
good.
last like 15 minutes of the movie. You're like, oh my god, what's happening? And then
again-
and then Han Solo fucking dies.
And it's like sad, and it's like it's impactful.
Yeah.
It means something to Kylo's character. Oh god, don't get me started on Kylo. Don't get me started on the fucking.
The sequel trilogy is a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a freaking mess. Can we move on from it? I beg.
We've got to get through a few more things. Like, just a few things, like Finn getting saved by Rose. Remember that? Remember when you thought Finn's going to go out like a fucking hero here, and he just gets saved and then does nothing in the last movie? Sucks. The character Rose...
Who?
Sucks.
And she sucked so much that in the last movie, she also gets
I feel so bad for the actor. So bad. Like, she had to just put up with her character just being, like, toyed around with, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like... Oh,
not only toyed around with, but, like, scapegoated for, like... She was, like, the face of Star Wars being bad.
Yeah, absolutely. People were, like... Probably sending her death threats for it.
Not probably.
Which actor deserves to have, you know what I mean?
I don't care, like, how bad of a performance they did.
And I think...
Tommy Wiseau gets fucking, you know, roses at every event he goes to.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is the first one also directed by Ryan Johnston?
Yes.
Which, you know... Stinks, because I mean he has so much better movies.
Ryan Johnson. He does have much better movies.
Like Knives Out. I mean, like
it's incredible to think how he went from this to Knives Out.
Yeah, I don't even know how he did it. Like, it's just incredible. But yeah, regardless, that happens. I mean, getting into the Rise of Skywalker, but what's her name? Daisy Ridley's character. Fuck, I don't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either.
This is really blanking on me right now. Let's just call her Daisy.
Daisy Ridley's character.
Being...
Holy shit, I don't remember her name.
Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter? Like... What? Like, I remember so many of the prediction videos, and not a single person predicted that because no one thought, surely that, you know, old shriveled man didn't, you know, have sex with someone. Like, that's not possible. No, it was. We just didn't see it, I guess. It just never got really explained.
It's incredible how it just skips up. They were so lazy with it. They just skip a generation of backstory.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think the idea is, like, he had a son who had Daisy Ridley's character, whose name I don't remember.
What is her name?
Well, look, hey, the last movie came out 4 years ago. It's fair enough we don't remember her name, I think. But basically... the explanation was like, he didn't like his dad, and then he had Daisy Ridley's character, and now she's here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm probably the worst thing to happen in the Star Wars universe, and the, I guess, shining beacon of light in the hope of the answer being no to this question.
Yeah.
Is just
somehow
4 simple words from Oscar Isaac's mouth of all
people.
Somehow Palpatine has returned. And that's all you get.
And that is the sound of my nail gun.
That's the sound of
just sealing up the Star Wars
franchise dying.
No, please.
Fucking never open this thing ever again. Oh, dude. It was just like... I just remember being in the cinemas like... Huh?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Kylo seeing, like, Force ghosts of fucking... What do you call it? Mr. Solo? What's his name? Han Solo, sorry. Mr. Solo.
Dr. Solo.
Which, like, he's not Force sensitive. I don't get that part. Like, I guess that part's, like, always been seen as, like, oh, like, it's just him, like, you know, reconnecting with his father in, like, a visual way. So
it's like Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's what I mean. You
discovered this and made a point of being like, I've done it.
You can't just shove, like, you can't be like, but this one is in the Force Ghost, you know? You're like, what do you mean? Whenever you see someone dead in Star Wars, it means it's Force Ghost. What do you mean? Oh, God, I hate it, bro. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. But to be fair, and as much as I hate Palpatine just being the big bad of this trilogy as well, I think he was pretty cool and awesome in the last movie. Like he was like the only kind of part where it's like, oh, this guy's strong and he does cool, strong things with lightning in the sky.
He was evil and scary for sure.
But it was
I do remember the scene of him shooting lightning into the sky in the cinema. It was like deep fried.
Oh, and the other really good part in The Last Jedi, when that character, who I also can't remember the name of, who had like the purple like bob cut kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she just drives the like fucking hyper speeds through the other thing, and it's just like silence. Sick.
That was a good shot.
Good job, Ryan Johnson.
Good shot. Yeah, good shot. Good decision to make it completely soundless.
And fucking they really tried their hardest. Well, this is why I still stand on Last Jedi being the worst film in the franchise, because I feel like Rise of Skywalker was kind of just J.J. Abrams just trying to pick up the pieces.
Just really doing his best.
And he tried his hardest, but it was still a bit of a fucking train wreck, you know what I mean? Kylo Ren dying for no reason. Didn't have to die. Don't know why he died. Snoke.
Question mark.
Snoke, question mark. Remember when they pulled the big funny and the heroes got all one up on him, even though he's supposed to be like this all powerful fucking genius, and we never really got any backstory of him because, you know, subverting expectations isn't it's not always the way to make your movie good.
It is not. Don't make it your personality.
Yeah, legit.
Because that makes you a fucking diagnosable psychopath.
Let's move on. Rogue One, fantastic.
10 out of 10.
10 out, like, honestly, like, in a movie where you know that everyone's gonna die, it still makes you feel like, holy shit, are they gonna die?
When it happens, you're like, ow, man.
And I think I've still only seen it like once or twice. I need to watch it again.
Yeah, I think I've only seen it like twice or 3 times.
Han Solo movie, could not even tell you what happens in that movie.
I never watched it because I was told not to.
It's just a whatever movie. It's like not nearly as bad as like the last 2 movies in the trilogy.
Yeah.
But it's so forgettable.
Just fully not worth
probably
watching.
The most forgettable.
Shall we move on to like the TV shows?
Absolutely.
So there's Mandalorian, there's Boba Fett, and there's Kenobi.
Is that it?
And Andor, which we haven't watched.
I haven't watched. Also Bad Batch.
And Bad Batch.
Also Rebels, which
and
I've
Rebels.
never watched.
So we haven't seen Bad Batch, Rebels, or Andor.
I want to...
Very, like, commonly regarded as 3 really fucking good,
We've talked up, like, all the animated Star Wars stuff, and yet we haven't watched any of the animated Star Wars stuff.
We haven't seen the Bad Batch, we haven't seen Rebels.
That's going to be our homework, all right?
Watch these movies, yeah.
Not the
watch
series.
these shows, yeah.
I really want to watch Rebels because I've heard lots of good things about it.
I want to finish the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I want to finish the Clone Wars.
I know it's gonna like just send me into a deep depression, but like I just want to finish the Clone Wars.
Keen to watch Andor because apparently it's good.
It's amazing, yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about. So is it just Mandalorian,
Boba Fett,
Kenobi? Mandalorian, like, see, this is classic Star Wars fashion. They start off pretty strong. I remember I got a preview screening of that with my friend Jake. And this was definitely like the coffin's been sealed and then the hand burst through it.
Pedro Pascal's hand burst
like,
through the
not on
ground.
my watch, you know, like
not today.
But like it's kind of already being patched, that hole.
Yeah,
so like just
a little bit.
But
yeah, no, like I remember watching the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian and I was like blown away. I was like, oh my god, spaghetti western, but Star Wars. Spaghetti western, but in Star Wars.
I mean, like
the first episode,
New Hope was arguably also kind of spaghetti western Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
like, this was like this really doubled down on it. You know what I mean? Like this was like even the music was more like, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it was like it was awesome. But yeah, Mandalorian's really good, and I think it's because it wasn't a part of like, you know, this entire like fucking franchise, like film, like sort of. It was its own thing, which I think it benefited from a lot. Like there was definitely an overarching story.
Well, there was no like expectation to be like, and also Obi-Wan Kenobi is there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And like, you know, like I said, there's not much of an overarching story other than like he's just trying to get this fucking whatever the species is called of Yoda.
Yeah, I don't know.
Grogu, is that what the fucking
that's his name?
Kid's name is? Yeah. Just trying to get him back to like the Jedi, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just had like really good episodes, you know what I mean? Which is just, it's all we asked for.
I mean, that's a TV show.
Similar to like Clone Wars, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like
had some great episodes, some great
standalones. And I think like if the franchise was going to come alive again, it would have to start like this. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I think it gets a bit shaky towards season 2. Personally, I still haven't watched the new season.
No, neither.
I know you're probably more into it than I am.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, well, I probably see. I'm on the fence of. I
Yeah.
don't think I want to watch it, and I think it's because of. I feel like it towards the end got really just train wrecky. You know?
Yeah, Cad Bane just getting murked
Yeah, and
for whatever reason.
and arguably the Mandalorian's moments in Boba Fett ruined it a lot more
Yeah,
for me
my
than anything
God.
else.
I was loving Boba Fett
Oh,
up
God.
until
No, it's not
the episodes where, first of all, it was only the
I
Mandalorian.
mean, we're here to talk about it, but let's not talk.
And second of all, where I saw what they were trying to do,
Yes.
but the like Tatooine like bike gang that like became Boba Fett's like entourage was just so.
I do remember that.
So weird. It just felt so out of place.
For the universe of Star Wars and its crazy diversity and like interesting characters and kooky weirdos and stuff like that. Those guys just felt like it's like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Like they just don't fit in this context.
Yeah,
at all.
they may be on another planet or something like that,
legit.
but like Tatooine is like this like impoverished desert planet.
Yes.
And then these people just have like cool bicycles with neon lights on them. And Thundercat is their mechanic. For some reason.
Yes, I do remember that.
Like, put Thundercat in as many fucking Star Wars like movies, shows, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, no, it was just out of place as hell. But the rest of Boba Fett, outside of all that stuff, pretty good.
Like I remember us really enjoying like the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting to the point because I'm pretty sure it was like we knew it was like 9 episodes maybe, or maybe this is only like the first 3 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
But because I remember they were showing a lot of the backstory.
All of the Tusken Raider stuff.
Yeah, and it like
Awesome.
was catching up to the story, and we're like, how's they going to go over to like the next couple episodes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's because the next episodes are just the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian plus. You know, it literally felt like bonus content from the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And fuck, man, like I want more Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett is literally not in an episode of a show called Boba Fett. What?
Make that make sense.
What? Like it baffled me.
Yeah, it
how
was pretty
much
crazy.
And the like content we got for the Mandalorian felt so fucking like
it was just nothing.
nothing.
It was
Like
just
it was
nothing happened.
Luke like CGI Luke training Grogu.
Which CGI Luke is fine. Looks fine.
I didn't like it. I would have preferred it would have just been like, you know, back of a head maybe.
Yeah,
know?
sure.
Or like just like, you know, you don't have to put Luke in it, you know? And to be fair, I think it was fine for the second season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I think it was just really bad in Boba Fett because we got him like moving around and shit. And I'm like,
yeah, true.
when you're spending so much time on it, it just doesn't work, you know what I mean? Like the fact that it was just a little bit of a cameo in The Mandalorian,
In The Mandalorian.
I could put up with it, you know what I mean? But like, God, like, why? CGY, Luke.
CGY. Yeah, that's great. That's right.
But
Kenobi, should we just really spend a second on this?
I didn't like Kenobi.
I hated it.
It was like,
It had good. It didn't have good episodes. It had good scenes.
good moments.
Good moments. All the scenes where it was Obi-Wan Kenobi
And Hayden Christensen, honestly.
and Hayden
'cause
Christensen.
I like, as much as it was a pretty bad series, I think Hayden Christensen really redeemed himself, which I loved.
He put his whole Haydosy into
Yeah, he
it.
did. He fucking put his Darth Vader into it.
really did.
And like, I feel like he was really meant for the character of Darth Vader and maybe not Anakin.
Maybe.
Because like, he did good to be like, fuck it out, you.
He was so like in that last episode. He was so like scary and menacing, but like still had like, you know, that dog in him.
Oh! Darth Vader in Rogue One, fucking coolest
Holy
scene ever.
shit! Oh my god!
Probably the coolest scene of like the new era.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Obi-Wan was very and like that was almost the second nail in the coffin. I feel like, you know, like where it's like we've reopened.
That's where they started. That's where they got the flex tape and started putting it back on the coffin and just started loading that baby out.
Yeah, the fucking shit that like stops leaks completely like that. Yeah, they put that over there.
And
like,
then yet again, Diego Luna bursts through and revives it with Andor. Apparently, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see. But I think that's everything in terms of the movies.
The stuff that we've seen, yeah.
Yeah. Games, like I said, Knights of the Old Republic, apparently really good.
So I have my answer.
You've played have you played Knights of the Old Republic?
Not since I was a fucking child.
But you still played them.
I played them, yeah. I played a lot of Star Wars games when I was younger.
Also,
the Lego Star Wars franchise is
Lego
excellent.
Star Wars. Also, Jedi Fallen Order. But we've already made a whole episode about that, so you can go listen to that.
Go listen to that because
But we loved it.
It's really good.
We loved.
And the new one's coming out soon.
Yeah,
and that's
which
why we need to buy a
play.
PC.
Yeah. Or a PS5.
Or a PS5.
Nah, PC. What am I
Probably
saying?
a PC.
What am I talking
So
about?
basically, I have my answer.
Hold on, let me sit back down. So
If you would
can
let
have your
me,
answer.
if you'll let me divulge.
Go.
Is Star Wars good? What they have done is very clever. And I believe it's the same thing Marvel has done.
Yeah.
There is so much content that such a small percentage of people who view any of it views all of it.
Yes.
It is impossible to say that Star Wars is good because I don't know all the Star Wars canon.
Makes sense.
I simply do not. Of what I've seen, I don't know if I can say it's good because there's just been so much like...
Yeah. And I think that's where my judgment's going to come down to. I think I will probably give more of a solid answer, if that makes sense. Like, not that yours wasn't solid.
Go ahead.
Yours was a good answer, I feel like, because it's right in that it's kind of hard to answer because there's so much that is either good or bad about the Star Wars universe. But for me, if I'm equating it all, there feels like there's more bad than good. And whether, like, I think I have multiple different ways of viewing it. I think the universe of Star Wars is good.
Yeah.
I just think the content of Star Wars has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame, you know what I mean?
It is. It is a
'Cause
shame.
I think it's really suffered from a very just greedy industry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of like, we just want to make as much fucking moolah as we can.
I guess, like, I don't know, maybe there's, but it's probably spawned, like, if you want to get into it, it's probably spawned so much, like, good fan fiction and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And, like even, like, Mandalorian Season 1, Jon Favreau and Taika Waititi just going in on this season, you know? Like,
and that's the thing. I think it has its moments.
it really does.
I think every bad thing has its moments, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think because it's such an overarching thing, some of their moments happen to be like whole ass movies, you know what I mean?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said before, if it had stopped at the old trilogy, like, I don't think it ever was going to because it was such a... But I think that's why it continued, because it was good.
Really good.
You know what
It was
I
a
mean?
great trilogy.
So maybe it was good where it was, and it can still be good in that regard, but I just think what's made it bad is not a fault of George Lucas or the universe itself, if that makes sense.
Can I put something to you?
Go.
Think about this. The original trilogy. Wow. Great. Amazing. 16 years pass. They make more movies and they're kind of not great. Lord of the Rings. Trilogy. Amazing. Most Oscar nominated sort of movies in ever.
Similar almost.
And then The Hobbit comes out. And people are like, it's not that great.
And now with fucking the new show.
And now with...
Have you finished watching that?
Yeah.
And did you enjoy it? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I think it was... See, like, it almost feels like a similar trend to Star Wars in that...
It has its really great moments.
Maybe not as egregious as, like, good, bad, terrible, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's more like the show has more of like...
I think from the episodes of the show I watched, which were like 2, I was already enjoying it more than The Hobbit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed most of it more than The Hobbit, but like that one's definitely more of like an episode by episode thing.
Yeah.
Less of like
so
a
maybe
scene
it's
by
like,
scene thing.
it's similar to the Star Wars universe if you just ignore the new trilogy.
Done.
Which, I mean, it's what we should do anyway, let's be real.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
probably.
I honestly tend to like take that part out of my brain and just not even
I don't
think about
remember
it.
the sequel trilogy.
That's what I mean. I don't remember really what happens because a lot of it was dumb as hell.
I don't remember the sequel trilogy, and it's not worth rewatching because everybody's like, you know what? Let's just forget it happened.
But yeah, there's I think really solid answers despite not maybe being as concrete, but I think it's hard to be concrete about it.
Yeah.
But is Star Wars good? I think No, but it has its moments. TLDR.
It has its moments, and it, you know, if it keeps going, maybe one day the good will outweigh the bad.
Yeah, maybe, but I just think they should stop.
Just make a new
maybe
franchise.
I'll change my mind when I watch Andor.
Just make a new franchise.
Yeah.
Just make a new franchise.
Or just like move on to something else, bro.
That's
like,
why I'm really excited about Dungeons and Dragons, trust me.
yeah,
because
it could be a whole thing. You know
could be
what I
a
mean?
whole thing.
It was
Imagine.
only the first movie.
Imagine.
All right.
Let's wrap this up.
Should we go back to the olden days where we used to say rattle things off before?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was thinking
okay.
about this the other day. I was like, we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, shall
Love the
we
music.
rattle off
Jedi?
just names of characters in Star Wars?
Yeah, let's try and get as niche as possible. Luke Skywalker.
Cal Kestis.
Oh, damn. Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
Okay, nailed it.
Jaro Tapal.
Kit Fisto.
Yeah, nice. Plo Kloon.
I don't know if you've noticed me saying characters we literally talked about this episode. What's the girl with the blue tentacles over her head?
Asa
Asa Ventura?
No.